Hello everyone, welcome to my questions and answers video special. You've already asked all the questions, so I'm here today to answer them. Now, to be completely honest, I haven't really looked over them. I might have glanced at it, I've seen like two or three of the questions, but honestly I've not read them. So a lot of this is a surprise to me. We'll see what you guys have asked. Hopefully there'll be some good questions. I'm sure there'll be some shitty questions, but that's just the way it rolls. So let's jump right into it and see what you guys have asked me today. So what I'm going to do, as to not confuse you, and just to make it easier on myself, I'm going to start with the newest questions and work my way backwards to the oldest questions, just because it's easier for me to scroll down and easier for me to read and look at. So, first question, and by the way, I'm really sorry if I butcher your name. I'm going to try my best. A lot of people have extremely strange YouTube names, so if I butcher your name, I apologize in advance. I didn't mean to. It's just the way it is. So, newest question first, oldest question last, starting with Kilua X Godspeed X, and he asks, "What other manga anime do you read or watch?" Now, he asked this because he already knows is referring to the one anime and manga that I currently read and watch, which is One Piece. Much like many other people, One Piece is my favorite anime, it's my favorite manga, and really, other than it being my favorite anime and manga, I guess it's not really fair for me to say that because it's the only anime and manga that I read and watch, with the exception, and there's a big exception, of one of the most popular ever animes, Attack on Titan. I do not read the Attack on Titan manga. I have watched all of the season 1 Attack on Titan anime, and it's freaking incredible. So I guess that kind of answers the question. The other anime that I do watch is Attack on Titan, but it's been short. It's done for now until they make a new season. But other than that, I really haven't watched any other anime or manga. I've tried watching a couple episodes. Like I've tried a little bit of Naruto from the beginning. I've tried a little bit of Inuyasha, a little bit of Bleach, but I just couldn't get into them. I don't know why. I haven't given a fair chance. And to be fair, with One Piece, it wasn't the greatest start to an anime, but it caught my attention. And I've watched One Piece from the beginning. They're now at like episode 660, so I've invested a lot of time in it. I really enjoy One Piece anime and manga, and basically to answer your question, don't really read or watch much other anime or manga. So that's his first part. He has two other questions. Will you ever finish your Let's Play for Heavy Rain? Heavy Rain, I started quite a while ago. I think it's been over a year and a half ago. Uh, Here's my thing. I don't want to say yes, just because I don't want to say yes, but I also don't want to say no, because I have had a tendency in the past with the last couple of Let's Plays I've done to kind of let people down in the sense that Heavy Rain is not done, never finished it. Wind Waker, never finished it. What else did I do? Resident Evil Revelations, never finished it. And I think, did I finish everything else? There might be one more that I never finished. And prior to never finishing those, I was always on top of it. I never had those issues, but those are just left unfinished. So I can't promise that I'm gonna go back to Heavy Rain and then leave it unfinished again. Although I was very close to finishing. I mean, I only had like maybe a couple episodes left. So all I'll say is this: I don't like leaving things unfinished. Down the road in the future, I might go back to it and complete it just for completion's sake. But as of right now, I have other things planned in the near future. So Heavy Rain is the last thing on my mind. Not even thinking about it. I will probably do it in the future, but I'm not making any promises. So to answer your question, I don't know if I'll ever finish it. That's it. I can't say yes. I can't say no. So, and the final part of his question is a really good one. Who is your favorite villain in One Piece? Let me think about this. My favorite villain in One Piece. I have a lot of them. I mean, I really like the current villain in the current arc, Don Flamingo or Doflamingo. Really maniacal. He's one of the smart. I think he's probably the smartest villain up to this point of One Piece. So I really like him. Um, Rob Lucci, I liked him, but for the most part, I just like the arc. I felt like Rob Lucci's personality was kind of dull, so I don't want to say he's one of my favorites. I loved Arlong. Arlong was great. Um, Eneru was great. I loved Eneru. I'm gonna say, who's your favorite villain in One Piece? I don't want to consider. The thing is, there's villains that I really like Akainu, and it's a fine line because there's certain people that were villains and aren't not, like Hawkeye, Mihawk. Mihawk was considered a villain in the beginning, but now I feel like he's not a villain, you know? And he was one of my favorite villains from the start. So I'm gonna say, just to keep it for now, I'm gonna go with the very first villain that was introduced in the first major arc, and that's Arlong. I just loved his character design. I loved the emotion behind the whole story with Nami. So Arlong, to this day, is probably my favorite villain ever of One Piece. And I know that's kind of odd and unique from a lot of other people's picks, but I stick with the classics. I loved Arlong. At one point, I thought he was coming back, but he didn't. But to this day, Arlong is probably my favorite villain of One Piece. So that's one person's questions. I'm going to be here quite a while at this rate. Joshua Tuhi, one of my good viewers, asks, he has a couple of questions as well. Will you be Let's Playing any more Final Fantasy games or RPGs? I've already Let's Played Final Fantasy 3-6. I've Let's Played Final Fantasy X. So what other ones would I be interested in Let's Playing? Final Fantasy Tactics would be one of interest, and Final Fantasy VII would be the other one of interest I can think of the top of my head. So if I do any other Final Fantasy Let's Plays, it will probably be one of those two. More than likely, it would be Final Fantasy VII before Final Fantasy Tactics. But as to if I'm going to do it, again, I don't know. It's not in any of my near future plans to do any of those Let's Plays of Final Fantasy games, that is. So nothing soon. But would I consider doing it? Sure, why not? You know, Final Fantasy VII was one of my favorite RPGs ever, and Final Fantasy Tactics was as well. So, near future, possibly. The second question, will you Let's Play any SRPGs? SRPGs? Simulation RPGs? I'm not following. What the hell is an SRPG? Sorry, I'm not completely caught up on the game lingo. Sorry, I'm going to skip that question just because I don't know what an SRPG is. Don't crucify me. I'm sorry. Feel free to ask me on the side, though, with an explanation. I think it's a simulation RPG, but I'm not sure. And I really can't think of any off the top of my head. So, SRPG. Not a tactical. Oh well. Oh, wait. Here we go. If so, I recommend Tactics as one of my favorite games. Less popular, Tactics Ogre, Let Us Cling Together. Okay, so SRPGs is actually a tactical RPG. That's what I call them. So sorry for kind of going around it. I really didn't know what you were referring to, but now I do. Tactical RPGs, I kind of answered in the first question. I'll say this. I will not be doing Final Fantasy Tactics next. But one of my next Let's Plays, once I do start it, is going to be an SRPG, as you call it, or as I call it, a tactical RPG. So that's the only clue I will give towards my next Let's Play. I've done one in the past already, Vandal Hearts. So if you're interested and you never heard of the game or saw it, check out my Vandal Hearts Let's Play. I had a lot of fun with it. It was one of my favorite Let's Plays I've done. His third question, I found the PS Vita player name Dario8676. Is that you? If so, can you accept my friend request? Do you have an Instagram? Thanks, and sorry I have so many questions. Alright, don't worry about it. This is your forum to ask as many questions as you want. Not saying I'll answer them all, because if you've asked like 10 of them, I probably will skip a few just to try to keep the video a little short. But I'll do my best here to answer as many as I can. So, uh, are you Dario8676 on the PS Vita or PSN? Yes, I am. That is me. And the next time I do log on to the PSN, which has been a long time for me, probably over a few months, I will definitely and gladly accept you as your friend request. I just haven't played any Vita games or been on the PSN in a long time, so forgive me if you don't see me accepting it right away. I've been more into other things right now. But sure, I'll gladly accept it. And as for me having an Instagram, I do not have an Instagram. I only have a Facebook, which I do not share. Sorry, it's personal. I do not share my Facebook with many, only really close friends. I will, personal friends in my real life. I do have a Twitter, Dario8676 on Twitter, so feel free to follow me there. No Instagram though. And that answers your questions. I hope I answered them good. Well, if not, sue me. All right. Next question comes from. Let me scroll down here. Let's see. Gangsta Martinez asks, "Hey Dario, I know you will eventually continue your God of War Ascension Let's Play, so I won't ask anything about that. Before I read the next part, again, I will probably continue it. I don't want to promise anything. I'm hoping I continue it, but you know, it is what it is. I've already kind of answered that already with the first question, so we'll see. I'm hoping to continue Let's Play. I don't want to make any promises because when I make promises, I lately haven't really fulfilled them, so I apologize. So yeah, that's that. But I do want to finish it. I want to finish everything. If I can finish everything I started, I would be happy over time. What he does want to ask me is, will you do God of War, Chains of Olympus, and Ghost of Sparta at some point? I would love to see that. All the best. I tell you what, I would love to see that as well because I never played either one of them. So, and I do own them both on the Vita. Don't own them on actually any physical console, other than the handheld Vita. But if I did them, they would probably be blind. Um, Again, no plans on doing any of those anytime soon. But I would love to try them. You know, I've played almost every God of War game. I love the trilogy to death. My God of War Let's Play trilogy is probably one of my most popular Let's Plays on YouTube. So why not? Never know. Okay. Next question comes from Geonomic Warrior. He asks, "Do you know when you'll finish up all of your Let's Plays that you have not been finished?" Oh my god, I'm going in circles here. I already answered that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I want to finish them all. I can't promise when I'll finish them all. We'll see what happens. That's all I can say. We'll see what happens over time. Finally, will you consider talking about your cat that you showed in that one boring manga review before? Uh, it was boring? You thought oh, you mean the one where the episode was boring as hell, or it was such a bad chapter that I just made a whole joke out of it. Um, so he's asking, will you consider talking about your cat? I've already had I'll say this. Scroll through my videos. I know I have a ton of videos, like 1,300 videos that I've done since I started YouTube. Scroll through them. You'll probably find another video too of me and my cat there somewhere. So you can look through that. But what's to talk about? I mean, it's a cat. It's a freaking cat. Okay, I love my cat to death, but here's how big he is. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. And then he writes, "I love cats and dogs, especially when they affect Let's Players in a good way. Most of the time, like when H.C. Bailey's cat, Stripe, bugs him during a recording for something that he talks to her. I love animals, not just cats. And I tell you, it's true when they say that animal's life really helps an owner, extends an owner's life, and just um, I don't know what I'll do, without my cat at this point, just because it's it's like my best friend almost. I mean, it's an animal. An animal's an animal, but you really grow attached to animals that you live with for a long time. So, love my cat to death. And what else is there to say? Next question comes from PSI Majora. He asks, "Do you think any previous One Piece villain will make a comeback, and if so, who?" This is a good one. This is a good question. PSI Major. He asked, "Do you think any previous One Piece villains will make a comeback, and if so, who?" There's only one that comes to my mind right now. At one point, I thought Arlong was going to make a comeback. I was completely wrong. Basically, before Fishman Island, they had that like mini 3 episode thing where I really thought that that guy in disguise was Arlong, but it ended up being, I think, Blacklegs. The guy that looked like Sanji. It was really bizarre. Um, but the one villain I can definitely see making a comeback in the series just because of his popularity is Eneru. Eneru, the only problem with Eneru though making a comeback is how is he going to beat Luffy? Um, Eneru was an awesome villain. He was invincible, probably one of the strongest villains of One Piece. I mean, electricity power. How the hell do you beat that? And it just happens that Luffy, he was, he was extremely handicapped against Luffy because Luffy is rubber. You can't electrocute rubber. So I can see him making a comeback. I don't know necessarily if he would make a comeback as a villain, but I can definitely see him making an appearance again in the series. And at that point, I mean, if Luffy faces him again, it's just going to be another complete destruction. Not destruction, but Luffy's not going to lose. So I would love to see Enderu back. I definitely would. I liked him a lot in Skypiea. Will he? I'm not sure at this point. Um, the next question comes from, sorry if I butcher your name, Anex Deuce. He asks, "What was your favorite Let's Play?" To this day, I'm still going to say that my favorite Let's Play of all time that I did, and I'm assuming that's what he's asking. What is my favorite Let's Play that I did? To this day is Final Fantasy X original. And the reason for that is, there was a lot of comedy Let's Plays I've done, a lot of serious ones, a lot of other types of Let's Plays. This was a serious one, but it was like 120 something episodes long, something crazy like that. And I enjoyed every minute of it. It was very emotional at the end. I actually felt emotion because it was finally over, and this Let's Play took me a long, long time to do. A lot of people loved it to death. I got so much support over it. And to date, Final Fantasy X is still one of my favorite games of all time. People love that Let's Play. I loved it, and it was just like a harmony. Everything just gelled well together. So to date, I'll say that my favorite Let's Play of all time that I did is Final Fantasy X. Next question comes from Kuladum. What other animes have you been watching or have you seen besides One Piece? I have not been watching any other animes other than One Piece. The one that I've seen in full besides One Piece is a recent one, Attack on Titan, and I love that one. It's incredible. Like I think they made an episode a month. It blows, like the action and the graphics destroy One Piece, annihilate it. But I still love One Piece more because I like One Piece's story, and you're just always interested in seeing, what's gonna happen next in One Piece. What is the One Piece? All that. There's always that mystery aspect behind One Piece. I will say this about Attack on Titan. I thought the first 10 episodes were the most ridiculous episodes ever. Best anime episodes I've ever seen in anything. And then the next 10 were just kind of like, meh. It was good, don't get me wrong, but I just felt like it was just a regular anime, kind of. So Attack on Titan is probably the only one I've seen. I've watched an episode or two of other animes here and there, like Inuyasha and Bleach and Naruto, but just couldn't get into them. to be fair, I never really gave them much of a chance. So maybe one day I'll watch them. But for now, I'm really strictly One Piece, anime, and manga, and Attack on Titan when that comes back. Really, that's all I really watch. Um, okay, let's scroll down. Okay, this is a good question because this is something I wanted to touch on in this questions and answer segments, and I'm glad someone asked it. C9875 asks, do you have any advice for people like me that want to go to school for game developing? Question is right up my alley. I'll be happy to answer it, and I'll do my best. I'm hoping I can pretty much just answer it the best way I can. So again, his question is, do you have any advice for people like me that want to go to school for game developing? Okay, well, I don't know how old you are or anything, but I will say this. The best advice I can give you when it comes to game development, whether you're doing programming, whether you're graphics, whatever aspect of game development you want to get into, practice. Practice, learn, try it, practice, learn. And what I mean by that is learn on your own. Like, yes, you're going to go to school to learn all this stuff. You're going to become really good at it. School's going to elevate you. What you want is you don't want to start at the bottom. You don't want to start at the very bottom not knowing a damn thing about game development, then go to school and learn about it. You want to start kind of like in the middle at the very least, or just you want to have some basic knowledge of game development before you go to school, because then when you go to school and learn about how things work, you'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I can add that to the knowledge I already know. So really, to simplify my answer, the best advice I could give anyone who wants to go to school for game development is don't get frustrated. There will be ups and downs in game development, especially for me programming. But don't ever give up. Keep at it, and just learn as much as you can, practice as much as you can before going and advancing in the real world with actual school. I've done it. I started programming when I was like 13 or 14 years old. I'm now almost 30 years old. I'm 29, and I'm still doing it. So I'm pretty damn knowledgeable at this point. I mean, I don't know everything. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the expert at everything, but all I'll say is I started at 14, 15, and by the time I started college when I was 18, 19 years old. Actually, I think I started before 15. I think I was like 13 years old, but by the time I got to college when I was 18, 19 years old, I already had a pretty good understanding of how programming worked, of the basics of programming, some of the advanced stuff as well, and all that stuff. So, yep. Okay. Question 2, have you ever played Lunar Silver Star Story or Lunar Eternal Blue? No, I've never played either one of them. And if so, will you ever consider doing a Let's Play of those? Never played one of them, so would I consider it? Sure, I consider doing anything people ask me to do, but have I considered it? No, because I never heard of it, so that's the easiest way to answer it. His third question, have you played Zelda A Link Between Worlds, and if so, what do you think of it? I have played it. I actually own the game. This is okay. Zelda: A Link to the Past is my favorite video game of all time. I've said that before, and it still is. Zelda: Link Between Worlds is a great game based on the same world as Link to the Past. Amazing game. For whatever reason, I never beat it. I got very close to beating it, and I love the game to death. It's great. Freaking awesome game. But for some reason, maybe it's because I've gotten older. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't have the exact same feel as the original to me. But it is a freaking great game. It is an awesome game. The whole mechanic of the picture frame and the wall is awesome. It's just they did a great job with that game. I do own it, and I definitely recommend it to anyone who hasn't played it before that owns a 3DS. Next question: do you watch Hunter x Hunter, and if so, what is your opinion of it? I do not watch Hunter x Hunter. I've never watched an anime. I've never read the manga. One of the reasons, because I was interested in it at one point, I was like, maybe I should try Hunter x Hunter, but from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Hunter x Hunter is on and off a lot. Like, I heard that the writer sometimes takes really long breaks with this manga, and the anime is always on long breaks, and it's just so out of sequence that it really turned me off from watching it. Like, when I hear things like, it sounds like the guy doesn't even have passion sometimes in making it. And it's like, do I really want to invest my time into an anime or manga where it's like not 100% is being put into it? Not really. So, yeah, that answers that. And then his second part, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned, I'm sorry. This guy's guy asking this is Skybusta, so I apologize if I didn't mention you. I don't know if I did. And then the second part is, which, if any of your Let's Plays are blind? If you've never done a blind one, would you ever consider doing one? Blind. Oh my god, I've done so many Let's Plays. Which ones have I done blind? The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Back to the Future. And that was a freaking terrific Let's Play. I loved doing that one. That was one of my favorite Let's Plays I did. It was blind. And to date, my god, the story was awesome. Like, it felt like the actual movie, and I just had so much fun doing it, discovering things. So I did Back to the Future blind. Would I ever consider doing other ones? Sure. Did I ever do any other ones? I can't think of any off the top of my head at this time. But yeah, to answer your question, Back to the Future. Next person. Oh my god, I'm already at 30 minutes, and I feel like I barely scratched it. No, I think I'm a little more than halfway through. Next question comes from Parisa Monazayan. Oh my god, I know I butchered your name. I'm sorry. Hello, Dario. Have you ever played the remasters of Final Fantasy X and X-2? And if so, what do you think of the extra content? I have played the Final Fantasy X remaster. I've never played the X-2 remaster yet. I do own both. The X remaster looks absolutely beautiful. No complaints. I love everything that was redone about it, in all honesty. I feel like they could have done a little more, but it was great. The extra content is okay. The extra 30-minute scene is cool, but I don't know if what it really, will they make a sequel based on it? Maybe. So I didn't. It's not much was really. I mean, other than them redoing all the art and everything, for the amount of time that it took them to make this remaster, I was actually a little disappointed because I felt like they spent like 4 years to make this thing, and I was like, they just redid the graphics. But I guess that's what a remaster is. But I was not disappointed with it. I haven't beat it or anything because I've already beat the game in the past, so I didn't invest too much time in it. But I liked it, and X-2 I haven't really tried yet. So I really don't even know why they remade X-2. I think that it would have been okay if they just remade 10, eliminate X-2, and then they could have focused more on how to improve 10 a little bit. Not that it needed improvement, but why not? If you're going to redo all the graphics, they could have made Blitzball multiplayer. Just add some different things like that. Okay. Next question comes from Fantasy Guy 86. Have you ever played Final Fantasy 7, 8, or 9 before? You may have, but I'm asking anyway. And are you planning to Let's Play any of them? Okay. I've played them all. Didn't care for 8 too much, or 9. I don't know why, just couldn't get into them. 7 was good, although now it's kind of outdated. I would love to see them make a remaster of it. The only one of those 3 that I would consider Let's Playing in the future is Final Fantasy 7, just because of the nostalgia factor of it, and just because that game meant a lot to me growing up back when it came out in, what was it, 96, 97. So would I consider doing it? Consider it, yes. Is it anything I'm going to do anytime soon? No. But Final Fantasy VII, I would consider doing 8 or 9. I'm never gonna do. I'll just put out there now. I'm never gonna let's play Final Fantasy 8 or 9. That's it. Next question comes from John John Moriarty. Sorry. Here's one. Do you have any of the games you played that you would want to over again because you could do it better now? I think what he's asking is, of all the Let's Plays I've done, I think he's asking if of the Let's Plays I've done, is there one that you would do over again because you could do it better now? I don't know if I would do it over again. That's something the only Let's Play I've considered doing over again is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And the reason for that is because YouTube pissed me the hell off with that Let's Play. They took down like 4 or 5 of my Symphony of the Night videos. So really, my Symphony of the Night playlist is incomplete. If people watch my Symphony of the Night Let's Play, like, where the hell is episode 1? Where the hell is episode 20 something? You know, I'm missing Let's Play. I'm missing videos in that series. So if anyone I would consider doing is that, I would love to see them do a HD remake of that game eventually, so then I could just Let's Play that. But don't plan on doing it anytime soon. But I would love to, if of all the games I would redo, it would probably be that one. And his last question is, how is life treating you? Okay. I mean, I can't complain. My job is okay. Ups and downs, but you know, I really like my job. I'm paid well. You know, I got benefits and all that. So finally, I'm kind of doing something I enjoy, but it's not still like my ultimate dream in life is to make a freaking video game, particularly a platform video game. Um, a good one too, you know. So that's my dream. I'm not there yet, but I do have a programming job, so that's kind of what I'm doing now. And my phone is ringing. I'm not answering it. That is all. Um, but life is treating me pretty well. Things are good. I've been, you know, working out a bit, losing a little weight here and there. So things are definitely uh, going pretty good for me. Could it be better? Yes, everyone's life can be better, but for where I'm at now, I can't complain. So yeah. Next question comes from Gamer Eternal 777, and he asks. He's got 3 questions. Let's see. Let me open this up. You said you're using Game Maker for your game development tool. What kind of game are you looking to create? And as a second part to this question, have you ever thought about contacting an established indie development like Freebird Games or Yacht Club and seeing if you could get one of them to publish one of your future games, or even joining an indie development team? To answer the second part of your question first, have I considered contacting an indie development team? Not really yet. I haven't gotten that far yet. Um, Honestly, if I ever develop, not if, I'm gonna say when, because this is my dream here. So when I develop a platform game that I can call my own, my ultimate goal would be to release it on Steam and maybe elsewhere. I mean, if I could release it on freaking PlayStation 4 or like a major system, oh my god. But I'm not worried about that now. I would be happy with Steam. I'd be happy if I could just complete a game at this point. I don't even care about actually publishing it or pushing it yet. But as for me joining an indie development team, sure. I mean, I've thought about it. I have an artist that I really know very well, Jess, also Autumn Child on YouTube, and she's an extremely talented artist. She's going to school now for um, to learn more about her art and to just get better at it. So I would love to in the future maybe develop a video game with her. I mean, my programming with her art skills, Jesus, you would have a hell of a game. So possible. So yeah, I would consider definitely joining indie development team. Um, And then what was this other part? Yeah. What kind of game are you looking to create? That was the other part of this question. A platformer, but not just a regular platformer. Um, the tool I'm using, Game Maker, is great for making platformers. It's even better than RPG Maker. And believe it or not, I actually almost made a platformer. I was trying to put together a platform a while back using RPG Maker, and that tool just sucks for making platformers. Not only that, it's just very limited. The graphics it can handle is not even as good as Game Maker. So Game Maker is a little more complex, but it's also really fun. And you will see that once I do my tutorials, which I'm going to start on another channel eventually, very soon. I'll explain that later. But going off topic here, what was the original question again? Um, what kind of game you're looking to create? So I want to make a platformer game, but just not any normal platformer. I've never played a platformer with just like mind-blowing story. Like some of my favorite platformers, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Zelda 2 was a great one in my opinion. I know a lot of people didn't like it. What the hell is also a good platformer? Super Metroid, all amazing platformers, and interestingly, they were the Metroidvania platformers, which is what I would love to make in my own game. Um, I want to have a heavy focus on story in my platformers, something a lot of platforms do not do. And when I say heavy focus, I mean flashbacks, plot twists, established enemies, established characters. I just want the full freaking 100, everything I could possibly think of to make it such a great game. You know, plot, story, 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 story. I can't emphasize enough how important story is in video games. Gameplay is always second, in my opinion. Always second behind story, no matter what. I don't care what people say. You might disagree with me. Story first. That's it. So, platformer I want to make with a heavy focus on story. That's all I can say right now. That's my goal, my dream. Okay, let's speed this up a little bit because I'm already 38 minutes in. Sam Dumit asks, I know you started a Let's Play of God of War Ascension. Then you took a break for a while. Will you be finishing it? I've answered this before. I'll answer it again. Um, I want to finish everything. Will I? I'm not going to make any promises. We'll see what happens. And I'm sorry that I never finished it. Something I probably will go back to in the future, but I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, of course. It's just not me. Okay, and then JP Mayer, which is a former co-worker of mine in a previous job, asks, it's just an inside joke, he asks, hey, can you help me program my Ford remote? I used to work for a company that did car programming in terms of remotes and sold remote controls for vehicles, so it's just an inside joke. And yes, I still remember how to program a Ford remote. So for those of you with a Ford vehicle, particularly a Ford Escape, key in, on, off 8 times. So key in, on, off 8 times. On the 8th time, leave it on the on position. Your doors will lock and unlock. And if you're at that far, you know you've done it right. Press any button on the first remote you have. Doors will lock and unlock. If you have any additional remotes, press a button on the next remote. Doors will lock and unlock. And then when you're done with all your remotes, turn the key off, pull out the ignition, and you're done. You have a working Ford remote for your car. Wow, I'm a goddamn dork, ain't I? Yes. Okay. My legs are sleeping, by the way. I've been like this for like the last 40 minutes now, so my legs are completely asleep. Next question comes from Silent Senior 09. In the 4+ years you've Let's Played, what is the one thing you have enjoyed from the experience? This is an awesome question. Great question. So, to reiterate, in the 4 years that I've been Let's Playing, what is the one thing you've enjoyed from the experience? And I can answer this question perfectly. I have no doubts about this answer. And it's this simple. The people I've met, I've enjoyed. That is the thing I've enjoyed most from this experience. The people that I've now consider very close friends of mine. Particularly the people that I met, not that I met, the people that I got to hang out with when I went to PAX 2 years ago now. is just phenomenal. I mean, I've had such a wonderful experience at Let's Playing. It got me more comfortable on camera. It got me more comfortable talking. And my favorite experience to come out of this is just how close I've gotten to some of my friends online and how comfortable I've gotten, because I used to be extremely shy before I jumped on YouTube, and still am. Not that I am to an extent, but I'm not the greatest at communicating things sometimes. But man, I am so thankful for all the friends I've made. Unfortunately, with friends you make, you lose friends. Some people haven't talked to in a long time. Some people were in my life and kind of just went out of my life, but that's just the way life is. The close friends will always stick by you no matter what, and they have. Friends you thought were close end up not being close, so it's sad. It's sad and happy all at the same time, but I have no regrets. I'm very happy about the people I've met from Let's Playing, and that is the best thing that's come out of it for me. Next question comes from Joseph K. He asks, have you ever played Heroic Adventures or Zombie Ate My Neighbors? And if you have, would you ever consider Let's Playing them? I've never played I said Heroic Adventures, Herc's Adventures. I have played Zombie Ate My Neighbors a very, very long time ago. I think I was like 8 or 9 years old. I played it for Super Nintendo. It's very vague to me. The only thing I remember is that I rented it, and I did not like it very much, to be honest. I don't know, I couldn't get into the game. The game was hard as balls, and I really struggled. It's one of those games that I don't remember very well, but on the back of my mind, like, I remember that game was shit. So, I just, put it simple, will I Let's Play consider? I consider everything. I probably will not be doing those two. I know I've said maybe, but those two I probably will not be doing. Almost done here. We got 2 more questions. Next question is from Psychotic Ranboob. He asks, I'm just going to ask the eternal question, why? Really? That's what you're going to ask me? Okay. The eternal question, why? Why? That's what everyone asks me. And my answer is, why not? That's my answer. Why not? You ask me why? I say, why not? Life changes. Everything changes. People move on. Things change. Life is constantly evolving. That's just the way people are. People don't always remain the same. People change. So, why? I say this is why. Life constantly evolves. I've evolved. I'm not the same person I was a year ago. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. That person was not the same person I was 10 years ago. Life changes. Things are complicated, and that's just the way it is. And the final question. Oh my god. Okay. He asked like 15 things, so I think I'm just going to pick 3 things out of it. Sorry. Sasami-chan. Sorry if I butchered your name again. When is the next time you'll do a blind Let's Play, and what might it be? I don't know, and I don't know. That answers the first question. What anime or manga might you try next? I've already told you that currently reading One Piece. I've watched the anime of One Piece. I watched the anime of Attack on Titan. What would I try next? I don't know. I mean, there's nothing out there right now that really interests me too much. If I'm like extremely bored, I don't know. I just can't answer that right now because there's nothing that's really like grabbed my interest. But I'm sure there's gonna come an anime that's gonna come out soon or eventually that everyone's gonna hype the hell out of that I'll probably watch. But for now, there's really not much. Another part of his question: he says if he wants to get, if he had an idea, if he had his, if If I had an idea for a game I wanted you or any other program or the industry to make, how would I get the idea to be seriously considered being made? I don't know because I'm kind of at the bottom of the totem pole too, where I don't have much push or leeway. You know what I mean? Like no one knows who I am in the game. I'm just your regular Joe who has a dream that wants to make something amazing, and I do have the ability to do it. I just have to push myself harder to do it. Um, so to get your game considered, I mean, all I can say is, throw ideas out there. I guess social media is very powerful outlet. So if you anything you set out to do, you can accomplish. And if that means getting an idea for a video game out there, I'm sure if you push it hard enough, they'll probably happen. So I don't know how else to answer that question. So I hope I've answered it the best I could. Um, I'll answer one more question and I'll end it. Let me just pick a good one because he has like a million of them. Uh, Jesus. Who would you recommend as a YouTuber worth checking out? So, final question, is there any YouTuber I recommend checking out? Um, I guess it depends what you're looking for. I mean, if you're looking for a Let's Player, my good friend Autumn Child makes great videos. I recommend checking her out. She makes actual obscure games, stuff that people don't play every day, that I enjoy. Um, in terms of non-video game stuff, I mean, there's a lot out there, so it really depends what you're looking for. Can't really recommend anyone because I don't watch many videos. So that's all about it. I'm now 47 minutes in. Questions were okay. I mean, I think you guys could have done a little better with the questions, but it is what it is. I've enjoyed answering them. So this video has gone on way longer than I wanted it to, but I hope I've answered some of your questions. And if I didn't, you're always welcome to ask me anything. You can follow me on Twitter at Dario8676, or just any way to ask me a question. There's plenty of ways to get a hold of me. I'm not a super popular person or famous, so a lot of times I will answer you back. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoy this long ass video, and hopefully got a little idea of a little better understanding of who I am. If not, it is what it is. So that is all. I'm tired. It is now Sunday night, and I got to work tomorrow, so I'm kind of in that Sunday blues mode, which sucks. But that's it. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.